So in this clip, Henry also asked me how I developed the product scorecard, which has been adopted by so many companies now. I think it's got a really interesting history, and I really hope you enjoy it too. See you later.
About the product scorecard, like how did you develop? So essentially, product scorecard is this, the way to measure, right? That you found that works really well in terms of measuring product teams on a leadership level. Whereas, my focus is always on the product manager themselves and their skill,
Yeah.
their competencies. Like, where did that come from? Was that just through experience, through this, working out what works in terms of communicating with stakeholders?
It came through, like most things, or at least most things in my life, through huge amounts of frustration and pain. Okay. Of trying to go to a CEO and saying we're doing this or we're doing that, or a COO, and they're like, yeah, that's great, but we've got to have the app in the App Store by June because we've got a contract with Comcast, and the contract says it's in June. So kind of don't care. So then the answer goes, okay, so to be clear, the contract doesn't say what Comcast have got to have. It just says an app in the App Store, right? And then it came from that, and it came from a lot of working with sales teams, go-to-market teams, comms teams, and trying to get much closer to them. And then I think, as product managers, we love frameworks, right?
Yeah.
And well, we should love frameworks. But again,
buzzwords as well.
Yeah, as I think Gregory Bateson said, is the map is not the territory, and sometimes we get hung up on the fact that we think our framework is the reality. It's just the model, and I was trying to create a model that would help me as at the time a senior product manager. I wasn't yet at the CPO level. I was just trying to go, like, firstly, what the hell do I need to do to be good? No one was telling me that. So you got all the product stuff, and you need to read Marty Kagan's books, and now you read a Teresa Torres book. But what no one ever tells you is, here's all the things, audit the damn stuff. And then moving forward a couple of years, I got a really interesting contract for a company that just wanted a product coach. I was very happy working full-time where I was. And I was like, wow, this coaching contract sounds cool. And then when I got there, just like anything else, you realize, oh, hang on a second, okay, this is everything's screwed up. And I remember absolutely, and we just hired this product lead, and the person who hired came to me and said, well, Ross, like, how do I manage her? I'm her manager, and I don't know anything about product. So I was like, okay, so I dusted off the scorecard that I created for myself, and I was like, okay, let's give it to her as a manager, so she can actually start managing her people. And she was not a product manager. And firstly, it was obviously absolutely stupid and unfair to say, okay, you've never even been on one of these 3 days, learn the jargon product courses, and now you've got to manage a team of product owners or product managers at the time. And that's where a lot of it came from.
So that's like, you're arming somebody. That I think it's also a really important point, is that, even if you've got 20 years in product, there are areas you're just not going to have expertise in, like it might be the domain, or you haven't done product discovery for 10 years, and the frameworks and approaches might change.